All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ship here on live on Radio and Row, day two, Radio Row. I have a very special guest, Miss Rita Carter, who is the founder and CEO of Breakthrough. But I'm also joined by one half of the Kingdom Queens, Miss Lexi Osborne. Of course, she's back there flexing with the 4 Super Bowl trophies. We're going to add one to the case come Sunday. Lexi, good morning to you. Rita, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And she is, again, as I mentioned, the founder and CEO of Breakthrough, and she's a leadership and relationship coach and a powerhouse when it comes to personal transformation. She is on a mission to empower women in the sports industry. First of all, what brings you to Radio Row this year? And we talked about this before, but how has it been for you thus far, including opening night last night?
So this is my first year on Radio Row.
Okay.
What an amazing experience. Last night was amazing, but I can tell you, as I shared with you before, listen, I brought heels, but I did not wear them.
You were smart. Lexi, now you're laughing, but you'd be surprised how many women last night wish they would have worn flats. With all the walking that we had to do last night. So
listen,
I can imagine.
I needed the gym shoes. Listen, I couldn't. There was a lot of walking, but it was a lot of great networking and meeting. It was just a great experience to connect with others. And because I'm on a mission for women, it was great to connect with women in the industry.
You didn't have to stress women and me. I get it. Just because I'm a man don't mean I don't like women.
Listen, I know you don't like women.
Whoa. Pause that.
But I know you don't like women.
Hold on. Wait. No Diddy. That is not true. I love women.
No, let me correct that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love women.
Yeah.
I said, let me correct that. So you are an amazing man in the media who loves women, but I'm here
in all facets.
Yes, in all facets.
Okay.
But I'm here to bring more awareness to bringing more women in the industry. In the sports industry. So that's why I'm here. Last night was amazing. I'm continuing the effort today and for the rest of the week, just to be able to connect with men like you, but also and women, right? There are women here who are doing amazing, and we want to keep that going, right? So there's a disparity here, and we just want to make sure that women, level the playing field and being able to see women in the industry.
I love that. So for those looking to get involved, what does that look like when you say to bring women or, to put women in the field, so to speak, in this industry?
So I started a program recently because I specialize in women breaking barriers.
Okay.
But recently I created a program called Level the Field. And so I want to bring awareness and reach out and connect with women who have a desire to be in the industry or already in the industry, but feel a little stagnant and stuck. Maybe they want to grow and not sure how to get there. And so I want to be able to kind of guide them and empower them to get where they need to be. And so we're there. We've made strides. We have some great women in the industry already, but that's not enough. And so my passion stems from me being in a room where I kind of felt less than years ago. I didn't know. And then I was up against men sitting around the conference room, and they looked at me as if I was an assistant. And so I know what that feels like, to be in a room dominated by men, and you can make change, you have what it takes, but yet and still people don't view you as such. And so in addition to that passion, I have 2 girls. And they will come in the room and say, "Mom, can you turn on ESPN?" And so I want them, 9 and 11, I want them to be able to say, you know what, I want to be a journalist for ESPN, and not only want to, but know that they can and be successful in it. So that, I'm not doing it just for me or my girls, but your girls, if you have them, your sister, your whoever it is that has a desire to be in an industry, but kind of feel like it's an uphill battle because it's so dominated by men.
I'm gonna let Miss Lexi take our next word, but I do want to say, speaking of Lexi, her and her co-host Jody Newsom, they started just out of the women. She can go more into it if she would like. A couple of years ago, when the Chiefs were on this run, started the show called the Kingdom Queens. It started a podcast, and it's real big online, and they've been able to make a name for themselves in this space. But Lexi, I'll go ahead and let you ask a question if you want, and talk more about what you have going on.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate what you're doing as well. It is, you know, I just went through it this morning with like, it's so funny how, especially with Taylor Swift joining the kingdom, you know, it's funny as a woman in this space because I get told all the time, like, oh, well, you're just here now because she joined or whatever. And I'm like, no, we actually started our show way before she joined. And, you know, but it just goes to show how far we've come and yet like how far there is to go still in this industry, I think. So I think what you're doing is really important and there's still a lot of work to be done. So I would say what's your best advice just to break through the next barrier, like for where we are as a podcast, you know, and we've kind of taken those steps to grow, especially over the last few years. And it helps with all the winning the Chiefs are doing, but you know, but we're kind of looking to make that next step over the next kind of, you know.
Okay. So if I heard
Sorry,
your
I'm
question,
sorry.
sorry, you were breaking up. But what advice would I give a woman? It's okay. What advice would I give the next woman who desires to be in an industry? Was that your question?
Correct. Yeah, correct.
If it is, let me just go ahead and start out because leading starts from within. You can't lead externally until you know that you're leading from within. And that means knowing who you are, knowing your purpose. I believe that your purpose is tied to your passion. And once you know deep down, you do the legwork, you're very confident in who you are. That's where it starts. Before people can see the confidence, you have to feel it and know that you're confident from the inside. And so, what I do with a lot of my clients is really work with them on the inside. And one practice that I work with is having them look in the mirror and ask the question, "Who am I?" Here.
Well, I don't know. I think they have a bad connection on their side. Trying to get that figured out. Hopefully he'll be back soon. I'm gonna let this pause.
Want to apologize for the lost connection that we had just then, but Lexi, I see you're back with us as well. How long have you been doing this, and how to be honest, I kind of think about this for myself. I've been doing this for a while, but how long do you see yourself doing this? How long do you? When did you start, and how long do you plan on doing?
Oh, I started doing this. Oh my goodness. I want to say maybe 2013, 2013, 14. But when I started, it was more so, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? It was referral based. It was your family. It was cousins. It was people who you knew that you work with.
Right.
And then it grew because I was like, okay, why are people coming to me for this advice, right? Because I go through life. I've had hurdles, I've had jumps, and then it wasn't until a few years ago where I really said, you know what, this is my purpose. This is what I'm doing. I need to get serious about this. This is not just, oh, I'm helping, which I love helping neighbors and whatever, but I can change lives. I can go global and change lives. And that's what I started to do, build relationships and go from there.
Since you've been here, and I know this your second day, what type of, as you mentioned last night about being on radio, what type of connection do you feel like you've made that will continue to help you branch out and do what you do?
So I've made some great connections. Again, we have some amazing women that are here, which I love to see. We have women journalists. We have, people that aspire to be agents that I was able to connect with. So definitely, this is based on relationships. So I speak about leadership. And one thing that I do know, and I'm a firm believer because I have over 2 decades of leadership experience, is you can't be too successful as a leader if you don't know how to build relationships. And so Radio Row starts here with relationships, right?
Yeah.
And so you build relationships. This is not just an interview that we're doing, right? I look at this as the beginning of a relationship, of a network, of a connection where we can pour into each other. We can connect. Where, oh, I know Lexi. Oh, Lexi, I know. And that's how it starts.
Shoot. I think the internet is giving them trouble on Radio Row right now.
And when I say it was a you have her come can she do some work with you down at the Super Bowl in Atlanta? I was like, sure. I needed the help. I was like, and I know she had done some work, but she was willing to be the gopher that that weekend, that week to go out and get guests and stuff like that. This was, I think, my second time on Radio Row, so I need all the help I get because the first time I did it, trust me, I know when you talk about hard work, pouring into things, and man, I was hustling that week. So like you're doing this week for yourself, and next thing I know, over the next few years, she started blowing up, and blowing up. Now she's so big, I can't get on the show no more.
Oh,
No,
goodness.
no. That wasn't. I get it if I want to, but but no, I'm happy for it because I just remember what you're saying. Just the work that you pour in and being able to help people that find themselves being elevated. Lexi, do you have another question for Miss Rita?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, what would your advice be to young women who are scared to kind of break out into the industry and kind of are fearful of, saying the wrong thing or, just afraid to use their voice?
So we're human, right? I mean, no one's perfect. You put your pants on the same way I put mine on this morning, right? And so one leg at a time, one leg at a time. And so fear is real because that was one of the areas that I struggled with was, oh my goodness, what are they going to say about me? Oh my
or being
goodness,
told no.
or being told no.
Right.
But, I kind of feel like my no could be another. I mean, me receiving a no from somebody, it's just because it's another yes coming behind it. And the fact that I wake up every morning this morning lets me know that I still have purpose. So as long as I'm here, I have purpose. And you have to start day one, right? Just day one day at a time. I'm a planner by nature. And so sometimes I created my own fear by planning ahead. What I realize is that the reason why I plan so much is because I felt that if I plan, I can control the outcome. But that does nothing but make God laugh. Nothing at all. Because he's like, you think you got this? Well, let me show you a little bit. So I learned to continue to plan, but leave room to pivot if I need to.
Mm.
And so what I would tell someone who's coming into this industry is to be patient, give yourself grace along the way. Fear is okay, but fear shouldn't stop you. You have to do it scared. I started my journey very, very uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable.
Mhm.
It's uncomfortable. And if you think about it from a rubber band perspective, right? A rubber band is only useful when you can stretch it. That's where growth comes in at. And so if you find a rubber band that's too tight, what you gonna do with that? You can't do no ponytail. You can't wrap these cords around here because it's too rigid. So you have to be able to make room and stretch a little bit, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable. But growth comes with the discomfort. So you have to be willing to say, you know what, I'm scared, but I'm gonna do it scared. I'm uncomfortable, but I got to get out there. I got to do it. And I don't care who you are. You could be famous. You still gonna get those jitters.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Everybody. I don't care how big you are. You may not get them as much as somebody, just starting out, but you're gonna get them.
No, it's funny you said that. I had that last year. My alma mater asked me to speak at our convocation, to start the school year off. And I'm like, me? Oh, yeah. Man, first of all, I didn't feel like, I hated writing. So I had to, write my speech out.
Mhm.
Then it was like, okay, now if I'm talking about sports in the public setting, that's one thing. But here I am trying to give students advice on, especially freshmen, on how to, what to expect
Yeah.
when they start their college life off. Man, I was like, and this was literally the day of our season opener back in Kansas City. So I had to drive down there, give my speech, and drive all the way back to get back in time for, to do my shows and stuff. And man, look, you talk about standing in front of a crowd of like 500 freshmen and staff. And so, I had been in my college for a number of years. I'm like, man, these cats are looking for the man in the moon. And so when I say brother was nervous, and I was like, I was praying to the Most High, like, Jesus, get me through this. And, I had to use the restroom a couple times before I, so I get everything that you're saying, because it doesn't matter how long you've been doing something, those nerves can kick in when you least expect it.
Yep.
Let people know how they can reach out to you and reach out to you on social media, where they can find your website. And if you would quickly talk, because you're a best-selling author, the books that you have that people can order from as well.
Sure. Thank you so much for that. So you can reach out to me on social media channels at Breakthrough with Rita. Because my company is called Breakthrough. My website is www.breakthrough.breakthroughready.com. So that's www.breakthroughready.com if you're ready for your breakthrough.
She's spitting bars now.
I do have 4 books. 2 of them are anthologies with other powerhouse women who are looking. They have broken barriers. One is Deeper Women Teach. Another one is Women on the Rise. And then I have one of my own that's called Unpack Your Heart. Unpack Your Heart is really geared towards anything that you want to do. Relationship, well, it's mainly relationship, but if you really read through it, it can apply to anything in your life, because a lot of times we're carrying things we have no business carrying. So you have to unpack that before you can move forward. I do have a journal that accompanied that book, and it made bestseller. So I love writing. I'm preparing to write a leadership book this year.
I need that spirit put back on me.
Feel free to visit my website. All of my books are on my website. Feel free to reach out to me on my website as well if you want to connect. You can also email me at clientcare@breakthroughready.com.
Ms. Carter, it is a pleasure, and I appreciate your time this morning. And I want you to, if this is your first time, enjoy the week. Make sure you take in the media part of the night.
Yes.
You're going to do that, but just enjoy it, take it all in. And I know this won't be the last time we see you on radio.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Lexi.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Now, Lexi, now that I have you here, we'll let you take it. Now that I have you here, Lexi, I want to get your thoughts on last night's opening night. And I know you and Jody had some comments along the way about. Well, I remember I came across yours about the NFL Network being 85% the host and 15%. of the players. What was that all about? Because I mean, I'm there,
Just-
so I'm not
You
really
were
paying
there,
attention to
yeah.
what's going on the network. So
You didn't see. So my FS1 account locked me out last night, so I couldn't get on there to watch. I guess they had better coverage. But NFL Network,
oh
I mean,
wow,
I don't mind the people on there, but it was literally like I saw a snippet of Patrick Mahomes, I saw a snippet of Andy Reid, a snippet of Travis Kelsey, and that was like it forever. And then they would just go back to talking in the studio. And then it wasn't until the
wow.
very end that they showed a few other clips. I saw one clip of Chris Jones. I can't even like it was so maybe one of Trent McDuffie, and that was about it.
Did they? Well, I remember Kimmy Chex was interviewing Steve Spagnuolo, but I don't know if you caught that, if that was, or if that was just like in the arena and stuff like that. So I, again, it was
Just
all.
chaos, yeah.
Let me say it was more chaotic and it was more disorganized this year, being at the convention, being at the football stadium than it had in years past. Like last year in Vegas, like field and I was telling somebody I don't know if it was because there's so much space between the stands and the sidelines where they just feel like they could just, I guess to avoid having so much stuff on the field itself that,
Yeah.
saying that that's how, I do remember in Vegas there wasn't a lot of space between, the sidelines and the stands and stuff. So it was crazy on how things had turned out last night, because it was essentially a cluster
Yeah,
last night, and I'm being kind in the words that I said. So
right.
Lex, I know you got a busy day ahead of you, and we'll definitely have you back on if and probably just a little bit when this Brigadier General stops by, and I'll make sure that we got everything up and running properly. But if we do have internet issues, it's more so. Well, right now I'm on my hotspot, but more so when I say it's a lot of people streaming,
Right.
doing stuff on their Wi-Fi, it's a lot. So do apologize for the lost connection earlier between myself and Lexi and our social media platforms. But with that being said, the Chiefs should be doing their media team availability in about 5 minutes. I don't know if it's going to be televised or not, but I know actually it might be going on right now until 11:15. So give me 1 second so I can see what the schedule is, because we got a whole lot going on today.
And
Okay, yeah. So Chiefs will be going on from 11 to 11:50. I don't think it's going to be televised. I know I'm not going to it. And then the Eagles will go from 12:40 to 1:30. So not a lot going on here inside the convention center today besides interviews. There is a Super Bowl host committee media party this evening that, even though I'm dressed and I'm dressed nice, I'm changed. I got a lot of stuff. I'm changed, and we're gonna hit up the media party a little bit later, and then tomorrow got a full day. Tomorrow we've got the Chiefs in the morning, 8 o'clock to 9:15. The Eagles from 10:30 to 11:45. Media availabilities, and then of course got I think got the NFL Players Association press conference at 11 o'clock that I'm gonna stop by, and that's just got sports. Now, a lot of people may not have caught this if you saw the interview that I did with Clark Hunt. He kind of got away from trying to answer the question. It wasn't in a position where I could really go back and challenge him. But I did ask him about the 18 game season, because if folks remember, especially during the 11-day period where they had 3 games, Chris Jones and a few others were real adamant about not having 18 games and not playing 18 games. Well, Clark being an owner and also
right.
being a businessman, probably gonna side with the league, where eventually Roger Goodell has been pushing for an 18 game season, and that essentially wouldn't take place until the end of the current CBA. But from the looks of it, if they can get it in early, which all it takes is an agreement from the Players Association.
This darn connection.